First off, rest in peace, neighborhood Nip. I ain't crip, but I'm on that neighborhood shoot. Building business, it's that black owned. If you hustle, better hustle till your pack gone. If you work, better work till your back hurt. And if you rap, make it better than your last verse. Yeah, more lyrics. Stick and move, Javante.
AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of Three Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, based over here.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the Three Man Weave.
Whew. Man.
Yeah.
Man.
Better late than never.
Man, if you knew what I had to do to get here, as you can see, I got the robe on, you know what I'm saying? I had to do what I had to do, brother.
I may or may not have pants on.
But please do not confirm that. You know what I'm saying?
I will not be standing up until this broadcast has concluded in order to preserve our FCC compliance status. You see, we are down a member. We working on it. You know, it's been one of them days. Just one of them days
that the pod goes through. But at least Cannon definitely got a valid excuse. You know what I'm saying? The excuse, you know what I'm saying, he was definitely got caught up in doing a photo shoot that was supposed to have been done by now. But I mean, shots by Cannon is definitely, a thriving photography business. So you need to hit up Cannon if you any photography needs, videos, whatever you need. He would definitely travel within reason. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it.
Hey, look, hold on, man. Hey, Deuce, I understand, brother. I understand. We here, bro. We here, and just think of it like this. Don't think of us as we got here late. Think of it as us giving everybody else a grace period to show up on time. You know what I'm trying to do? Because usually people start trickling in around, 7:15, 7:30. So we like, okay, maybe we doing something a little too early. So in order for everyone else to be punctual, we made a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? We a part of the people, baby. Let them know you can find us here.
You can catch us on all major podcast platforms, 3 Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3 Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. Ross, I told you I got my robe on, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Polo. You know what I'm saying? Step your robe up. Step your robe game up.
I was in such a hurry because I had to go into the office today. And then I had to go into the office today, then make it back home and all of that stuff. I got home, went into my liquor drawer, and realized I didn't have nothing that I wanted to drink. So now, if you see me gritting and grimacing over here, I am drinking the nastiest shit I have ever made in my life. I didn't have no juice. I ain't had no pop. I didn't have no Jameson. I didn't have no tequila. So I'm here. My mom left some Bacardi rum for when she makes her rum cakes.
Okay.
And so it's not even like the rum that people be wanting to drink. It's the Bacardi spiced rum. So I'm drinking Bacardi spiced rum with this V8 energy juice.
Bro, why? Don't you ever do that. No, this right here, that's what we not going to. You make me have to pull the tag. Can I zoom in this month? Don't worry about it. And look,
it's gonna go in the group, goddammit.
You made me break my damn neck trying to don't worry about it. I'm posting it in the group right after this. Stop playing with me.
Don't play me like that, play a hater.
You know what I'm saying? This was funny. Y'all on CP time for your old show. Only black folk. I mean, yeah.
Them other shows, them other shows come on, Eastern Standard Time. We come on CPT, Color People Time, and you ain't know. You see it. This ain't one of them.
Yeah.
Y'all lucky I ain't had no 99 berries in the goddamn cabinet. This have been a real show.
Yeah.
I jump out a second floor window like I was on Svetka.
Yo, my LB used to make the worst drinks ever at like any party or any function we was at, and his explanation did make sense. Was he said was I don't really know how long this liquor gonna last, so let me go ahead and make a cup, so just in case.
Just give
Yeah,
it an old college try. Put
yeah.
it on in the cup, and whatever happened.
But I remember one time we was like way out of
Making
school.
my eyes water.
We was like way out of school, like we was like adults, and he was still doing that. I was like, hey, listen, we ain't living like this no more, bro. You can go get some more, like what I'm saying, make you a good drink, like.
Yo, I'm not going front here. They killing the robe in the comments, dog.
Yeah, kill it. Like, no, I'm saying, not the horses, 2-man weed, right?
The horses they running the give and go.
Hey, we about to get to a topic, because what are they gonna be?
It's about a roast, a hill roast session over here.
We might have to. What is the title of this joint?
We about to change it to polo assassination. Well,
that's 2-man weed. Let's please get to it. Let's go.
Yeah, because we got some other people getting roasted, and who else was getting roasted was some goddamn 1 seeds.
Oh my god!
So right now we hitting the Sweet 16, and it ain't too many blue bloods in this group. And as you see Hill doing the Birdman hand rub, those UConn Huskies are here in this Sweet 16. And shout out to my brother Deuce. Never mind. I'm not going to make that joke. It's insensitive.
Yeah,
but
yes, it is.
The Alabama Crimson Tide are in the Sweet 16. So I'm trying to think. I guess we consider Michigan State a blue blood. UCLA is a blue blood.
Yeah, that's about it when it comes to basketball. Yeah,
because
UConn is a historic.
Yeah,
but it ain't blue blood.
UConn, and to me, Gonzaga, they don't count. They've been good these last couple, they've been good over pretty hit or miss over the last decade. So it's okay. Look, someone from Alabama said it themselves, so I ain't gotta say it. You know what I mean? I'm not really gonna have to say it. But shout out to Deuce.
What I do want to say about the tournament.
I ain't on him.
What I do want to say about the tournament, though, is I was one of the ones a proponent of parity in college basketball. Like, I was sick and tired of Kentucky, Coach Cal getting all the number one teams, the one and done teams, and dominating the regular season of college basketball. I was tired of Duke. I was tired of these teams that, that number one team that just was dominating the game. But it's like, we missed that bad. Like,
exactly. And my thing is,
I was wrong.
College basketball is the wrong place to be asking for parity, because the round of 64 and the round of 32, that's where you got your parity. You want that. Yeah, you get a couple, you have a 2-15 matchup, and yeah, your number 2 seed get knocked off. But as you get from, the round of, like you get to that Sweet 16, that's when you're like, all right, let me get the good teams in here. And you want some players that and we're in this age where college athletics, the revenue generating sports, they do not want to put their athletes on payroll. So now we get situations like this where you go through all these Sweet 16 teams. Damn near 2 to 3 players when they start a lineup is transfers. So we don't even get to know who's on these teams. Like back then, you would be like, okay, even if you had somebody who would like on Cal's teams, you had those one and done, like he had, teams full of one and dones. You go to a team like UConn or something like that, then they have a 3-year starter that's like, oh yeah, he nice. Like that's what like he might be able to run a tournament. Like you have the tournament stars. You have your Shabazz Napiers and stuff like that who could come out and be the tournament star, and they have put time in on that team. So there's a recognizable face. Unlike the dude that's on Gonzaga that's been to 13 Sweet 16s, you have some like players on these blue bloods that you can actually recognize and build up build up a spotlight to actually draw people. Like there's to me, there's really no intrigue in this outside of just like, hey, who gonna win it?
I agree to your points to a certain extent because it looked like it. The excitement is still there.
Yes.
Like so at the end of the day, it's like, okay, seeing these teams like we not knowing who gonna win, or just not, just watching the game for just its pure form, but just basically saying, all right, let's see who's gonna win it this time. And it's like it that causes an intrigue. I get it. If your team is still in it, you watching it for a different purpose. My thing about it is, like I said, like I stated earlier about the dominating teams, but like, where are the dominating players too? Like I get it. Like with the NIL deals are starting to come, the more one and dones, they're more spread out. But where are they? Like we got what is it? Was it Brandon Miller? What's his name?
Miller, yeah.
Like we have him from Alabama. We understand, who he is, but projected lottery pick. But like, educate me. I want somebody else to educate me. Let's say that. Like, educate me. Who else? Who else is the lottery pick? Who else is the number? Like, who else is the star? Like, when was the last time we had a star in college basketball? What, Cade Cunningham? Like, am I reaching? Like,
and he was at Oklahoma State, so it's not like there was that giant fan base that brought in that intrigue again, where it's just like, okay, we want to see this. And to me, like it would be nice to have Brandon Miller have another person that you like are going for someone to try and like you want to see if you can get that pairing. Like just imagine if you had Brandon Miller on one side of the bracket and you had Scoot Henderson on the other, and it was like, are we going to get a Brandon Miller, Scoot Henderson, national championship? And you have two lottery picks that are vying for, position and trying to show out on that stage. It's like, we don't really necessarily get that. And then now it's just like, okay.
At the same time, I'm not mad at it. I know you use his name as an example.
Ain't Master P's son on Houston? I believe he is. Not Hersey. It is Hersey, I think. Hersey Miller.
Was Hersey the one that we talked about that transferred from the HBCU?
Yes, I believe
he on Houston.
I think one of P's sons is on Houston. I'm about to find it. Go ahead, keep going.
Hey bro, how many kids he got? Google that too. But
he got them no limit soldiers.
I thought I told
you know what I'm saying?
But I know you just use Scoot as an example, just to make an example, but I'm not mad at him for taking the G League route. Like I said,
I'm not either, because you get paid. You
get paid. Like I said, utilizing the G League. We've been asking for that for a while. But no. It's not disrespect. I genuinely did not know him. It was a genuine question mark. So I definitely wasn't disrespecting him. I didn't know. That's why I was asking somebody, and you did educate me. So where I had another one. This was the other question that I wanted to get to. Is it a good year for Gonzaga to finally steal a championship? The answer to that is yes. Because, like I said, who's the dominating team left? I mean, we do have Bama, we do have Houston, but like, who's out? Like this is the opportunity for them to finally steal one. Will they? No, they're Gonzaga. This is what they do. They trick it up. And they've had better teams than the team that they have now. So, Go ahead.
Oh, Hersey plays for Louisville. Okay.
Yeah, Drew said it in the comments while you was looking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see it. I see it now. But so it's like, for me, there isn't that, like, to me, Alabama and Houston, they have very dominant players, and they wholeheartedly have a chance to win it all. But to me, it's is it that team where it's just like, yeah, that is who we are. This is the best team we've ever seen Alabama have it since.
Ever.
You know what I mean? So they don't have the pedigree to make it seem like, okay, this is the team. To me, out of the pedigree of the most recent times, Gonzaga might have the best pedigree of the teams left here now. So, yes, it is, now or never. But I also believe this might be one of their worst rosters that they've had in a while, with like as far as competing nationally.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's kind of like that question that was, posed, is this Joel's, time to win a championship? Because it's like, okay, it's fairly open because now if it doesn't happen now, will it ever happen? Hey,
Mhm.
Gonzaga, I don't know how much longer it like y'all can keep this up. I'm not saying that it can't, but it seems like your roster is getting weaker and weaker because of people now. It's like, okay, why do we even have to go out here? I can stay closer to home, get some money, and then go. What you about to say?
Later on, I want you to repeat that thing that you just said about Joel. Hopefully, your drink don't make you forget. But I want you to repeat that again when we talk about the next topic later on. I said
Someone
hopefully.
remind me in the comments.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that. Like I said, if people don't know, me and Ross are definitely we are UConn fans. Like I said, he's from the area, so it's like he
Oh,
got
Ross was a Texas fan.
I know, right? He all over the place with his team, but he definitely in Connecticut. He got a pulse on the city, on the team, and he can actually feel what they feeling. And we were ranked number 1 at one point during this season. When had some some turmoil. Took a couple losses, but we got it together. Got to regroup it. Now it's tournament time. Maybe they are feeling like maybe they feeling like, just get me in the dance and cut the music on. They have an opportunity. I mean, everybody has an opportunity at this point. It's like it's March Madness. So of course, all biasness aside, like they have an opportunity. They got a
Yeah,
coach.
and so here's my thing. A lot of the teams that are left have a chance to win it all.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing where it's just like throughout this, I'm not surprised at anyone losing that's left.
I mean, Florida Atlantic still in there. I mean, so I ain't. But go ahead.
So is Princeton. But
Yeah.
but that's my point. Even like I'm not surprised that if Florida Atlantic made it to the Final Four, I'd be like, all right, guess to me it's just like well they probably got a whole bunch of third and fourth and fifth year players and probably sixth and seventh due to damn COVID. You know what I mean?
Hey, Deuce, does Princeton still run the Princeton offense?
It's Princeton. I'm sure they do.
They got to, right? Like,
that is a requirement to get hired there. Like, hey, what offense you finna run?
Princeton.
Princeton, of course. Like, you can't lie. Like, let's see it.
But this is the one. UConn and Michigan State have both done this before. Like they've gotten the tournament, been lower seeds, and got hot, and all of a sudden they've won because of their pedigree, the pedigree and their coaching. So we wouldn't be surprised if Izzo does it again because Izzo gonna find a way to get to the Final Four.
But that's my thing. It's like with this tournament and the way that the talent is spread out, you're gonna get that. It's going to be kind of just like that. Hey, who getting hot right now? Who's making them shots?
Yeah.
Because back then it was like, okay, what team has the best point guard who can score? It's like they gonna be in the Final Four. Now it's just like, hey, bro, who hot?
Who hot? Who not?
So
yeah, FAU or Princeton to the Final Four. Which one are you picking?
I'm picking FAU. I'm never picking Princeton anything in sports.
I wanted to go first and say FAU just so you can see. It's like I can tip you to say Princeton. But...
No, you weren't about to try and make me get a little bit like, oh, for content, I'm gonna say Princeton. Fuck Princeton.
I mean, they Tigers, Bengals. See what I did there? Next topic, right?
Yes, please.
You didn't freeze, bro. Go ahead. Let's get it.
All right. So the reports are coming out that the NBA and the NBPA are moving closer to an agreement to establish a rule that a player must play in a minimum number of games to be eligible for major awards.
Technically, this is nothing new. That's nothing new at all. Like subconsciously, we understand that you had to play a number of games, like to get an award. Like,
Exactly.
have we seen, like you said, oh man, he only played 30 games, but I mean, he the MVP. Like, like we haven't seen, like we understand that the minimum games is definitely a requirement, right? But
Exactly.
making it official is what I like, because once we get further on, we're going to get we have to finally get an actual criteria with these awards, because
of course, but it's very difficult to do that. But
wow.
we'll get to that. But with this minimum game thing, I mean, it's cool,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think they're going to make it something where it's going to press people to get it. It's going to be around the amount of games that, like, even without the rule, people are going to be like, you're not about to play, 45 games and think you're about to get the MVP.
Yeah, but if you met that, it may be tied to all NBA team as well, and we all know that the all NBA team is tied heavily to contracts.
Of course. And of course, I know this stuff is tied to contracts, but
so we can consider that a major award. So putting it in ink is different.
Yeah, putting it in ink is different, but I don't think it's going to be a number where it's like people are going to be getting close, like where people that were in the conversation for these awards and for these slots aren't going to just meet easily. Like, I don't think they're going to say, "Oh, you got to play 70 games or something like that to be eligible." I guarantee you, this is probably they're probably gonna, like, this thing is gonna, like, be something around like 50 games.
Nah, they can't do it. They can't. Well,
I'm telling you, listen to me now. Believe me later on.
No. I believe.
They're not. I don't believe the Players Association is going to allow the NBA to push them that hard to do that, because I believe they're going to, like the NBA Players Association. They have some very high profile players that are in there, and so even if they are going to settle on an actual number for you to be eligible for those awards, I don't believe it's going to go beyond like what Deuce is saying. He's saying hopefully it's at least 60.
Because that was the number I was gonna say.
I think they're gonna undershoot it to be 50, but people in their mind, like, if you're not playing, like, most of the time, if you don't play 60 games anyway, people are not really gonna be considering you, unless it's like the lower, like, second team, stuff like that, but you don't really have no competition there. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, hey, second team all NBA, bro, you the second, like, there's only one center better than you. Shit like that. You know what I mean? So to me, I don't believe that they're gonna go, like, they're gonna do 50 because it's over 50% of the season, but it's not gonna be something that's super strenuous where it's gonna be like, okay, you have to force and do all of this stuff. I guarantee you, I don't believe that they're gonna put it in place like that.
I'm not arguing with you, because I actually do agree with you. It's just that I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, I would like for them to, like, for me, the number would have been 70, personally. But realistically, I'm okay with 60, 65, like Duke said. Like, I'm okay with that. But I do understand, for logical purposes, like, for them, like, making a lower number, just giving it a foundation.
Right.
Like, but subconsciously, it's like, bro, like, this person played 70 games and you only played 50 games. It's no way possible that I can actually give you this award over this person. I get it.
I 100% understand what you're like, what y'all's gripe is, but I just don't believe that is going to be what is implemented. And so I think this is one of those things where it's just like, let's try and get a rule out there to try and pacify some people, but we're not going to make a rule to, like, it's like a speed limit. It's suggested. Hey, it's only a problem if you, like, abuse it and you get caught. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you supposed to be going 55. But if you going 65, I ain't gonna say nothing. But just don't let me see you doing it. So what that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, we gonna make it 50, but just try and go 65. You know what I mean?
Because
Don't make us don't play 45 and then make us actually kind of use it. Just don't abuse it.
I do. Before we move on, I do believe if you made it 60 to 65, that would help. That would help alleviate load management.
I don't.
Because they're tied. If it's tied to these all NBA teams, then I believe that would help alleviate the. I would help that if the all NBA team are heavily tied to these contracts and these hitting some of these factors, that will help with load management. Some of these load management games.
I'm gonna do some research and see. Like, I'm gonna try and check some the last 5 to 10 all NBA teams and see how many players on those all NBA teams minus the COVID year have played less than 60 games. Because that's what my thinking, because once again, load management, people believe load management is these players are sitting out 30, 40 games a season, and it's not that. They're sitting there's load management is strategic, they're strategically sitting out certain games where it's load management. Some of these players out for load management usually on average, most of them are missing maybe 10 games a season, 10 to 15. You look at it and if you go through some of the top players, you'll see that they're playing 70, 74, like y'all been saying, 60, 65, games like that. And that is including players who get injured and have these, their nicks and bumps and bruises and even miss time. So it's just people are talking about load management because it's capitalism, the dollars. And so when the players are coming on TV, it's oh, I want to see this player. And they're just oh, they sitting, a coach's DMP, stuff like that. And it's just well, damn, we got this game on ESPN in our primetime slot, and the marquee player isn't playing. And so that's why a lot of people have an issue with load management. It's not about the awards and stuff like that. It's really one of those things where, how we talk about ownership pushing a narrative that the players aren't loyal to the organizations and stuff like that, and they need to be loyal and they need to take less money and they need to do this all for the organization. That's where the load management has come, because people are from the top they're sending that message down hey, in our marquee games that we're showing, our best players aren't playing. That's making them soft. And they're giving that to the media, and then the media is portraying, and then now they're turning the fans on the players and saying, oh, the players, they're soft. They're not playing. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. When in actuality, it's hey, bro, they're still playing 74 games. It's just now they're understanding okay, let me do these things to try and preserve my body, because now we didn't get to talk about the last pod, but I wanted to. Dame was saying, the journey means so much. The journey doesn't mean as much as it used to. It's literally only what do you do in the postseason, and how many rings do you have? If you don't have any rings, you cannot get talked about in a certain class. And so let me try and do these certain things to preserve my body, because now you added more games into the postseason. You added more teams in the postseason. Damn near over half the league makes it to the playoff, gets a chance at the playoffs. So let me at least try and have as much in my legs as possible to win in the postseason, where all of it matters and everything is on the line, instead of game 32 of the season, when I just came off a back-to-back where I was in LA and Utah, and then we got to fly to Miami in a couple of days.
That's we're gonna go to another plot. I'm gonna go to. I want to stay where I want to stay here right quick. It's only because of load management. The NBA feels like teams are abusing load management, and we go from it's some teams and some orgs that are abusing load management, that are trying to take action without taking direct action. Some of these are abusing the system, point blank. So what I'm saying, and what some of the fools are saying, you set a foundation you try to alleviate some of the problem. Like I said, of course, you don't want your star to get hurt. We get it. But like I said, 65 games is still a lot of games. Like we're not minimizing and saying that it's not. Like I say, playing 82 is okay. That's that's perfect attendance. Ooh, I get you. It's really, but what are you accomplishing? What are you doing? Like for example, like the Celtics clinch. Like, can we get to the playoffs already? Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, if I need to rest them, I need to rest them. Like, we clinch. We're in the playoffs. Like, I get it. Seeding is important. I do understand that. I'm not minimizing the regular season for that aspect, but it's just the fact that can we try to do something? Like, can we try to do something? If we need to attach your money to it, because if that's the only thing you respect, then hey, okay, y'all need to reach this requirement. So reach this threshold for your money. So I need y'all to play this amount of games. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Injuries happen, but we only directly talking about Loge, man. Some of y'all dudes is healthy. Some of y'all dudes is young enough to keep running.
I get that. Right. Like, so here's my thing. Does like what Jarvis says, does it make sense for the players? Yes, but it sucks as a fan. And here's my thing. In this sport, they have been able to turn the perception on, like turn, the anger to the players. And my thing is like the same thing that I said about the playing and why I didn't want it is you're continuously doing things to make the regular season not matter. If, like I said, if you have a chance at the postseason and you're just in the barely in the top half of your conference, not even in the top half, you could just be like not in the bottom half. I mean, the bottom portion of your conference, and you get a chance. Like I let me try and do all I can to preserve it. And all my life, yes, attrition is a part of being a professional athlete. But but when you play so many games, you dilute the urgency of the regular season. And so by diluting the urgency of the regular season, it allows you to do these things. Baseball players play 162 games in a season. I will go to a game and I'll be in the stands and I'll be like, oh shit, Mike Trout just got scratched from the lineup because they're giving him a rest day. Nobody talks about load management in baseball.
Yeah, you playing 100-something games.
Okay, you playing 100-something games, but you're still playing 82 in basketball, and those 82 games is a lot more strenuous on your body when you running and jumping and stuff like that. And so to me, yes, if I can get to the playoffs and I can I'm playing against a team that's won 29 games in the playoffs.
Sweep them.
Yeah, I'm gonna sweep them, but I'm not worried about game 32 right now because if my team with me just being on this team, I'm gonna be a 5th seed. So okay, so yes, I don't need to play game 32, and I can play, a team that's gonna I can worry about this seeding. So my thing is, people are talking about basketball players and load management because that is the perception that they want to give you because it is going to bring them money. That is what's going to bring in money because if they see people, oh shit, LeBron James is a healthy scratch tonight, we're not gonna watch. Oh, Giannis is a healthy scratch tonight, I might not watch this game. That's why load management has been put into the forefront and getting people to turn away from it. Yes, you don't see load management in football because even though they add in games, it's still 17 weeks. You have a limited amount, of games to make things matter. But then now what you're also seeing, now that they added another team to the playoff in each conference and they've taken away one of the bye weeks, you start to see teams do that as well. Like you start to see teams not you know what? You got a hamstring, we'll rest you another week. Mm-hmm. The Bengals did it with almost every single one of our injuries. Jamar Chase, he fractured his hip. Was like, we gonna keep you out an extra week just in case. Trey Henderson broke his wrist. Hey, bro, we gonna keep you out just in case. Just in case, to give you an extra week. Because guess what? As long as we still trying, as long as we keep pace and stuff like that, we're gonna try and win this game without you. So go ahead and rest. They're not going to push as hard. Now I get what you about saying is but these players is injured.
No. Not by the injury. What's more important?
The playoffs.
So that's why I had an issue with what Dane was talking about. Like we not minimizing what you accomplishing in the regular season and all that. But hey, I'm sorry. Legends are born, superstars are born,
Okay.
the GOATs are born, and what they do in the playoffs.
And that goes back to my point. If the greats are born in the playoffs, why am I gonna play game 32 against the freaking Wizards?
We talked about that in the cup. We talked about that a couple of episodes ago when we had load management. Like I said, I'm against load management. I'm against how they do it. But you know what I'm saying? I'm against how they do it. But once again, like I said, putting a minimum or setting a foundation for these awards, for these money, for their money thresholds.
I like it.
Hey,
yeah, no, I'm not saying I'm against it, but what I'm saying is, don't be surprised when this shit is like 55 games. You get what I'm saying? Like
we like Dude said, let us believe. But before
I'm just saying.
Now you burst the bubble. Why they can't regulate minutes instead of just playing? Because minutes restrictions in a game when it's a critical game. This gonna be quick. It's the fourth quarter. 5 minutes left. Joel ran out of minutes, and next thing you know, he got to sit. You're gonna be upset that his ass ran out of minutes, and y'all ain't win this game.
It's a lot easier to regulate someone's minutes when they in street clothes.
Yeah, I
can regulate your minutes a lot easier when you in jeans and a fresh tee and a chain on. You got damn it, because if you got them tearaway pants on with your hoop shorts under it, bro, you gonna try and go out there. And like you said, once we get into the flow of shit, like somebody can say, hey, like Joel, he didn't reach his limit. Hey, Joel might be at 45 points right now. He like, hey, bro, like I'm trying to get 50. Let me get
50. This how we gonna end it. This how we gonna end this topic, even if we like it.
Hey, dude's funny, man. Hey, but it's funny. This road comment extra funny too, because Hill had his horses going, and he got this polo shirt on. You feel me?
Thank you. Yeah, see, Cannon know from the jump that it's polo. Don't play with me. Like
they said Hill got the polo assassination on.
They was playing with you. They was playing with your
polo assassination don't even do multiple logos like that.
They call that the Lone Ranger. Lone Ranger robe right there.
They said my robe was 2-man weave.
Nah, that robe is fire.
I tried to tell him. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, my brother. Mm-hmm. So now we will get to the second, the second part of this conversation.
Oh shit. Hold on, let me read this shit first. So Giannis, he talked about the MVP criteria and what people are looking for, and he said the thing that I don't get about the MVP criteria is it changes. Is it the guy who scores the most points? Is it the guy who's the most efficient? Is it the guy who is the most dominant? Is it the guy who is the most valuable?
So listen, man. Everybody gets hung up on it. It's all in the title. The title is subjective, which means the criteria will be subjective. You see what I'm saying? Most valuable player. What I value, what AJ values, what Hill values, it's all different, man. What everybody values in life, what the fours value individually from the next four, is all different. Some things we can agree on, but here's the thing. It comes down to who gets to vote for it and what they value.
Yep.
So for the most part, they value the main criteria, but when it comes to the nuances, they value different things, bro. So I like the minimum part that we're adding to these rules, because that becomes a finite part of it and takes some of the subjectivity out of it. But I don't mind it being a subjective award because it's somebody else's league. We tend to forget that when we watch the MLB and the NFL and the NBA. That's why boxing is not that way. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not somebody's league that owns it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's literally governing bodies that are making you adhere to state and local law when it comes to boxing. But as far as everything else, it's a league of owners, a private entity that create the rules and everything. So of course, when you pick it, it's going to be subjective. So to Giannis's point, it is always going to be forever changing.
Right.
You got to go out there and make yourself the most valuable person to your team. That's all you can do. And if you get picked, you get picked, because we've seen years where Kobe definitely was the most valuable player and he did not get picked because, and they had legitimate arguments. The years that Nash won and Dirk won, they had legitimate arguments. I went back one year and looked at the numbers because I was so disgusted, and they were way closer than I thought. So it's like I was using my eye test for Kobe, but if someone else watches basketball different, they might use their eye test for Dirk. It might have hit different.
And like you said, it's all about what you consider in your criteria, because what you may think value means values. Like when people talk about Steve Nash stealing those MVP awards from Kobe, it's like you look at it, he from them getting in those number one seeds and that type of offense that they were running, and him being the engine to all of that with the assists, his scoring, and how he put everyone in place. You can consider that value. And to me, also, it's like depending on what you like. If we're just talking about the best player, then there's no reason that Michael Jordan has 5 MVPs and LeBron only got 4, because their time in the league, they were the best player way more than just 5 and 4 seasons, respectively. So to me, it's kind of ridiculous. And we've seen seasons when it was like Michael Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, where you kind of get that fatigue from the voters, where it's like, we can't just give it to this guy every year. And that's where people are having an issue with Jokic coming in, because it's like, y'all have no issue now, and you have no voters fatigue with Jokic now. And yes, Jokic, he's gotten better. He's put up better numbers than his previous MVP seasons. But it's just like, we've seen Jordan do that. We've seen LeBron do that. And we've seen, when you talk about value, when you talk about value, like, how can you say LeBron could have been the most valuable player on his team, because he's leading this team in assists, points, damn near rebounds and stuff like that. And like all these categories, and in his prime, he was your defensive stopper too.
Facts.
So you're getting voters fatigue for that. And then even with Giannis, to me, Giannis might I think Giannis might be the best player in the league right now.
I think so.
And for him to still be in that conversation was like, I don't know. Like, but for I like Jokic literally had to go on like a losing streak for people to start coming around like, oh shit, well, Joel might be in this conversation. Don't forget about Giannis. And
that's one of their criteria that's not written, is the fact that your team got to be winning. That proves that adds value to you right there.
But see, that's what I wanted to touch on, because you talked about subjectivity, and I understand that. I do get that. But if we had an actual criteria, actual foundation of what we actually be looking for, then we can actually understand the MVP race even better. Like,
they don't want you to.
But I mean, most of the time, it doesn't have to be this hard. Like, like you see who the best player. Like, most of the time, if you say, all right, boom, the number one seed on whichever conference is normally the best player on the number one seed is normally going to get the MVP. If that's what you're going to continue to keep telling us, then cool. Keep telling us that. Then we can understand. You know what? I bet. All right, Jokic on the West Coast, on the Western Conference. He the best. We got the best team. Like, you know what? Cool. Or we got Giannis on the other side. You know what? Cool. If that's what y'all going to continue to tell us, then cool. We will be okay with that. So then, you know what? Sixers would be like, you know what? We got to get the number one seed. If we get the number one seed, then they definitely going to give it to Embiid. Then we will understand it. But don't just tell me, all right, so Embiid got to get the scoring title, and he gets the scoring title. Then all of a sudden, the scoring title don't matter. Defense don't matter. Like,
so that's really what this. So we trying to figure out why Embiid
No.
No.
I'm not specifically just keeping it in B conversation because
Okay.
it
I was just
keeps
I want to
no
know because
because it keeps moving because before Steve Nash got it, all of a sudden it was the best player in the league getting the MVP. Now all of a sudden the number one seed, the best player on the number
remember I
one
said
seed,
it's
getting
going to change every year. So every
Can I-
year you're
can I
not
ask
going to
you-
know
that's
let me
the
ask you a question.
problem.
what it takes.
Let me ask you a question right quick. Who's like the voters? Aren't they like media members and stuff like that?
Sometimes
So
some of them are media members, some
so
is fans, some
I
are.
don't think the fans got
nah,
a
fans don't have a say.
I thought they took
Nah,
fan voting into
nah.
consideration.
So here's my thing. In order for us to get some sort of like understanding of what's going on, what needs to happen is I like Dude's question. Let's get to that. So to me, what I think needs to happen is I believe that the voters need to publish a written essay of their explanation of why they voted
I think they do
number
got to
1,
submit.
2, and 3.
I think they don't just vote. I think they do
No,
submit.
I mean
sports
published.
writers.
I mean published to the public.
I don't think they're never going to do that because once again, it's private companies. They don't gotta put everything to the public, bro. That's the difference. It's a private company, and no matter how outraged you and I are about it, you're not gonna care.
Really
You're
outraged.
not gonna care if someone told you to do something with 3-man weave that you didn't want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, because can't nobody make me do that.
And that's the position that they're in. So being able to keep it forever changing and having controversy around it, it's more clicks, more views. It's better for them. You feel what I'm saying?
My thing, and I do understand that aspect because, like you said, you definitely want somebody to talk. You definitely want to debate. You want to have it, you know. So I do understand the subjectivity aspect of it, but like it makes sense. But because even though I didn't like Steve Nash winning the MVP, or I don't want Jokic to win the MVP this year, like how often have they got it wrong? Like you can make an argument, like if you can legitimately make an argument.
They've never really ruined it. You see what I'm saying?
And that's my thing. So even now,
not pick the person that you don't like,
right? And
but
so even now, if you pick Jokic,
legitimate.
Even if you pick Jokic, I can't say that you got it wrong because it's not like Jokic is having a terrible season. Jokic is having like
a historic season.
He's having a historical season. So once again, it's not wrong. It goes upon what you value. But when you have these awards, it's always going to be subjective. And that's the thing. And even now, it's just like that's why you look at baseball, that's why they're trying to decide if they're gonna go to an automated strike zone because a strike zone is suggestive.
That term is nasty.
That's why people are so mad.
It's the nastiest thing in sports.
That's why people are so mad about the NFL referees because those calls are subjective, and that
they shouldn't be.
Because they know exactly the one call that is subjective is the catch, but the holding calls they know it's holding. They just choose when they're gonna call it.
Because
it's like the NBA will travel,
but because it's just
they know what it is.
It's like it's subjective. Is because once again, like they say, you can call holding on any play, just like in the Super Bowl, on that defensive hold on Juju.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, if that was week 3 Lions versus the Vikings,
my team ain't getting that one.
They not gonna get
y'all
it.
Didn't.
We never get that.
Like that's what I say.
We don't even get the holding ones, bro. Blatants. Come on, man.
But we've had calls like that go against us, and it's just like, yo, you ain't got to call that. Y'all wouldn't have called that against them, and it's subjective. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. But Deuce asked a question: how would y'all feel about them adding something like a Player of the Year award?
I kind of believe that they already have that, in the sense of you have your scoring champ and you got your defensive player of the year. So I mean,
why can't it just be one? Why can't it be the two-way player of the year? Why is it why you gotta break it down?
I hate that term two-way.
I hate it, but they made us make that term because they separate it. If it didn't separate it and say defensive player of the year, then there would be no such thing as a two-way player. All players should be expected to play defense.
Because you out
Especially
there.
because it's that sport. When it's soccer, you never hear you don't hear about soccer people who don't defend because it's a requirement of every soccer player. When we're on defense, you better be defending, bro.
Exactly. And so and this is what I was hoping someone would get to, and Deuce brought it up. Scoring champ don't mean best player.
At
And
all.
that's the thing. But then that's when you kind of get to the MVP conversation, because it's just like, all right, so what are we gonna like? So to me, like the play, like how can you differentiate player of the year versus MVP? Because some people believe that the MVP is the player of the year. And if we don't have no criteria, the MVP just might end up being the player of the year.
Yeah,
And then all, because then all they really, so to me, what you gonna do? Like, what you like, unless you start giving what they might end up happening is whoever comes in second in the MVP voting is probably just gonna get the player of the year award just as a consolation.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, like, I don't know how, like, when it comes to, sport, like when it comes to basketball,
player of the year,
if
they were 2 trophies, I would prefer player of the year over MVP. Because it sounds like I was the overall best. Like I said, most valuable just means that I was worth the most to my team.
But we don't know what the criteria
means
is.
That I was better than all other players that year, including the MVP.
But once again, that goes into the subjectivity of these awards. And shit, subjectivity of these awards goes into all of the awards too. Like even all NBA, there's like no like defensive player of the year. There's still subjectivity in that, because Marcus Smart won it last year, but you could be like, hey, Mikal Bridges, he was like, what, like, why wasn't he the defensive player of the year? You look at his defensive statistics, and he guarding, some of the best wings and this and that, and on like one of the best defensive teams in the league, and like, so it's all what you value and what you're gonna look at. And like one person may be an analytics nerd, and they be like, oh, his defensive PER is this, and he his defensive rating like per 100 possessions was this. Or it could be like, hey bro, this motherfucker led the league in steals, was in top 10 in blocking, and he was shutting down motherfuckers all night every time that I watched.
Does media notoriety go into subjectivity?
100%.
Because
you could say that it doesn't, but the people who pick, it's like a juror, bro. That's why they say don't watch the news. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are a person that has a vote and you watch the media, you can say whatever you want. It's called implicit bias. That means when you think that I'm not, but I am. It's like one thing I used to do always as a teacher, whenever I would give my kids free time, I would pick something that boys would like every time, right? And then it was maybe like 6 years ago. This little girl, her name was Kyle, man, and she changed my life forever. I got free time, and I was like, bet we going out to play football. You feel what I'm saying? And she said, Mr. Cannon, you always pick something that the boys don't want to do, right? But she ain't say it mean, she won't disrespectful. And what she said, I thought about it, I was like, you know what? And the very next day, for free time, I put sticks in and I let the kids choose the activity. You feel what I'm saying? I let a kid pick, and then it says a kid's name on it. Then I let the kid pick the activity, because I had an implicit bias that I didn't even know that I was doing, because I thought that I'm like, it's free time, it's better than doing work, so they should be happy. You feel me?
But like, cause I always say, like I yelled at AJ last year. I'm like, oh, you didn't say anything about Mikal Bridges being defensive player of the year until actually he lost. Like, if you'd have put it in our mind that maybe we should start paying attention to him. So I would challenge more media members to say different names. Like, nobody, if you just keep saying, yeah, Marcus Smart about to win defensive player
then
of the
it
year,
goes down to
Rudy
they ain't
Gobert
really in charge. Their networks is telling them the name.
So hold on, wait, let me jump in. Let me jump in here real quick. What is one thing that we talk about with the NFL draft? It's like, once you hear one player's name, then it's just like all these scouts, like next thing you know, he start rising up boards, and it's just like everybody starts saying the same thing about him. It's like, yo, nobody's formulating their own opinion. And it comes like this to me as well. Think about it like this. How many of the people that vote on these awards you think watch every single game of every single player every single night?
They should, because that's what they paid to do, but I doubt it.
But they don't, because it's not enough time in the day to do all of that. So sometimes now it's like that's what happens. People are like, even if you know, don't watch every game, you still are able to formulate your own opinion. And I think that's what happens. It's like some people start talking to other people and they start hearing other people and they're like, okay, I like your argument. I think that, you know, like I can see why you would do that. Let me go ahead and do that too. Instead of just, at least, I'm not even saying you got to watch every single game, but formulate your own opinion and stop listening to people. Because to me, it's like you can't, and when you talk about implicit bias, I think that's one of the things that you like that is changing a lot of this stuff as well, because analytics is so big in basketball now. No one is equating, like, one thing that is hard for analytics to really equate, you know, even across the board, is defensive impact. And so to me, that's one of the reasons why you could put Jokic, you know, up in here after, you know, he's already won 2 All-Stars and he's increased his, you know, analytical output, and like in this 3rd straight season, where it's like, oh yeah, like 60 games into the season, oh, he's the no doubt MVP, because he won MVP these previous 2 years. So of course he's going to be the MVP if he got better and he's putting up another season. But something that you can't quantify from those analytics that you use is defensive impact. And Joel and Giannis are like, literally, when they're on the floor, they are literally like some of the best defense. Like, we talk about someone who can like win, like LeBron and Jordan winning MVP every season. Joel and Giannis, as long as they playing, they could be defensive player of the year, because that's the impact that they make. So if you have Joel, who's in the race for the scoring title and defensive player like of the year, I don't like, how can you just say it's like, at that point in time, it's a no doubt? If Giannis is one of the best players on both sides of the court, and you know, he does everything that you want, and he's the leader of the team, and it's not even like he's like a great shooter. He's just unstoppable on offense. Like, it's almost like he's just like a built-in skyhook. He's an unstoppable move. He don't gotta shoot.
We about to switch topics, but my thing about it is, if they would just say more names, like if the media had, I mean, the media definitely plays a part in manipulating a lot of people's mind. If they would take the conscious effort and definitely just say more names, like when everybody was just Jokic, and then they got
to be allowed to, though.
But they got on perk for saying, hey, Embiid. And I know
that's why, because he probably didn't have permission. That's my point, bro. When you work for these networks, there's an agenda. These networks are owned by people who want things a certain way, and so it's like, if you go out there and say something other, you won't be on these networks. Which is why you don't think we see people who tell it like it is on some of these major networks no more. Because
we gonna do it here though.
Hey.
And that's why. Not only here, you've seen over the last 5 years an influx of people creating their own lanes, because you have no choice if you want to be able to exercise your freedom of speech. Because if you, like, it's unfortunate that you can't go on a network and say Embiid and then you're gonna get in trouble. That's crazy.
Yo, the Fours is on one tonight.
Yeah, they definitely on one.
Yeah, I can't even keep up with the comments. They rolling in tonight.
Oh, they definitely going at it in this one. But we're gonna switch it up, and we saved this for you, Cannon.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that you were here, Cannon, because we have, you know, a big one coming up this weekend. Benavidez versus Plant, baby.
And I'm pulling up.
Yeah, man. Dang.
You could be home first.
Yeah, I'm gonna be home.
I'm pulling up.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Rashad had asked me where we watching that the other day.
So wherever we going, I'm there.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be in my house. I'm going Benavidez, man.
Why though? Because I got an ulterior motive why I'm going Benavidez.
He might be the scariest thing out there, bro. Like, him and Boots, to me, they're the two people that nobody want to fight in their divisions. So it's like, Haney's my favorite, but people have ducked him, but they ducked him because technical. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They like he's technical. I don't want him to he can outpoint me and he can dodge me. But when it comes to Boots and David Benavidez, people are ducking them because they are afraid they're gonna get knocked out, bro. And so it's a difference. He's the boogeyman, and Plant is no slouch, bro. He's
Absolutely not.
He's all around an elite boxer. But so, and I brought up Rashad, so he's a Canelo fan, and you were there, Hill.
Yeah,
you were there. He literally said, and this might have been 2 years ago.
Benavidez, yeah.
He literally said it was a Canelo fight, and he's a diehard Canelo fan. He was like, "Yo, Benavidez probably could beat Canelo," and at the time I was like, "Bro, you're bugging."
Yeah.
But the more I start looking at it, bro, and then Canelo actually lost, it's like everybody can be beat, bro. Muhammad Ali lost, so it's like, yo, Benavidez might have the tools, and he's still so young right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can get beat, bro. So this gonna be a crazy fight.
So the reason why, to me, like, I get what you say. Like, I don't believe, like, I get what you're saying about the most feared, but I believe Boots and Benavidez are feared for different reasons. I believe Boots is feared for his potential. I believe Benavidez is feared for what the fuck he done to some motherfuckers. Like, to knock out Jalen Love.
Hurt some people too, though, man.
But not at the caliber that Benavidez has done it.
Because they won't fight him.
Because Benavidez has knocked out Jalen Love, Darrell, and then his last fight, he put a fucking bruising on David Lemieux.
Yeah,
and those are some quality fighters. You get what I'm saying? And so now to step in the ring with Caleb Plant, who is a slick boxer, who has some power to him. You know,
he got some power.
It's going to be a really good fight. And like, even now, it's just like, hey, bro, after this, Benavidez is going to lay claim to this super middle division, because I mean, I don't see nobody who really trying to rock with him.
He's the most fit, and that's why I just use Boots as a comparison. But I did say David Benavidez is the most feared.
Didn't Plant beat Darrell too?
Yeah,
did he?
I think so.
Wasn't that in his last fight? Or Benavidez was the one that beat the brakes off Darrell.
Benavidez he fought Darrell some fights ago. Like, that was Plant, because remember Plant did threw the dirt on him. he dug that boy grave.
So everybody just out here just giving Darrell some smoke. Come on, Darrell, you got
Darrell.
I know he was 39 years when he fought Joe Louis, son.
But he also a cancer survivor, so it's like, bro, his time.
I believe Benavidez gave Darrell his first loss, though.
Don't nobody know his real age. Y'all always been lying about his age. But my ulterior motive, because like I said,
that's our first time.
Yeah, we waited.
This the latest.
It might have been the latest ever that we ever met the quota. But I definitely, because I want to see Benavidez versus. I'd rather see him versus Canelo than a rematch for Plant and Canelo. That's the only reason I really want him to win.
Yeah, and the thing about it is,
what happened if you don't, though? Then what? Then you got a year of
rematch. I mean, I'm not mad at the rematch. I'm not gonna be mad at the rematch, but preference wise,
Badu Jack gave him his first loss.
Oh, I thought. Okay, so
remember at one point
it was his second loss. Then
Badu Jack had respect at one point.
No, Badu Jack was cold. but I get what you're saying, Hill. But
who opened Badu Jack joint live in the flesh when we was watching it?
We was watching that fight.
Yeah, I cannot remember.
It's the nastiest thing I ever seen in my life, man.
That thing was split.
But when you think about it, Canelo, Benavidez, and Plant, like, that's 1, 2, 3 in this super middleweight division. Yeah. And I know that Canelo, he lost, but that was Canelo going up to a place where he should not have been.
Absolutely.
He took a chance. And you know what? I wholeheartedly respect Canelo for doing that. But what you can't forget is weight is like going up in weight. It's a different ball game. Them boys hit differently. Like once you start going up, it's the same thing I said about Mikey Garcia when he fought Errol. It's the same thing I said about a whole bunch of fighters when they start trying to move up. So if Canelo comes back down, we still got to remember that he a little bit different down here at this super middle, this super middleweight, because we saw what he did to Caleb Plant. He put on a clinic.
Can I add?
Go ahead.
No. I ain't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
So all I'm gonna say is this Caleb Plant Benavidez fight is going to tell us a lot of what may happen.
What's the undercard, man?
It's actually a good undercard. I'm gonna pull it up in a second, but this fight is going to tell us a lot what's going to happen in the super middleweight rank soon. And you do have Canelo coming back, getting him a fight against John Ryder. John Ryder is he a top 5 ranked middleweight. So Canelo coming back to the middleweight ranks, boy. So we might be in for something.
Bro, this a filter, bro.
This already he already snitched on you. Look, where is that? Look at him. I know y'all know that's a filter. Hating on your crib.
Hey, leave it up to Denzel to be a hater.
He at least he consistent.
Right.
But I do got a technical question that I wanted y'all to answer. Like I said, we do know Plant, all around boxing, saying like he got the skill set to handle it. And I know y'all not saying this is an easy fight by no means, but what does he have to do to win this fight?
Everything he normally do.
Yeah. I think he just has to be able to stick to his game plan and get Benavidez uncomfortable. Because the thing about it is, Benavidez, although Plant has power, he don't have Benavidez power. So he has to really box him and make Benavidez uncomfortable so that Benavidez has to think twice about, just unleashing. And so Plant got to make it a boring fight. A lot of jabbing, a lot of just moving around and using his distance and using his angles. And so I think he can do that. And I believe he gained the experience going against pound for pound the best fighter in the game, Canelo. So I believe he can use that because Plant is technical. And he went up against a technical master with power. And so he has felt power of that caliber before. And yes, it took him it put him in a very bad place. But I believe going against someone as technical as Canelo with that power is going to allow Plant to have some memories in the bank of how to proceed. And I don't know if Benavidez is going to be ready for that as well.
Yeah, for his own one, man.
Nah, going crazy.
Yeah, man, it should definitely be a good fight though. But to answer your question, Hill, I don't think he changes anything that he does. I think you go in camp, try to be in the best shape of your life, and try to do what you do best, and I don't.
He's stuck. Yeah. So what you telling me is that's how Cannon knew it was a real polo robe because Hill got on Cannon polo robe because he in the bathroom. He in Cannon bathroom this whole time. God damn it! See, boys be putting some shit together, boy.
The internet, the internet.
Oh man, they going to investigate. AJ recording.
Oh
man. But no,
your background is bad. You ain't booking
nothing on that day, bro.
Hey, is it an echo? Because there ain't nothing on the walls. I got a sheet in front of the bars, yo.
Not you using your one call to pop.
Yeah.
Hey, I only got one call a week. They let me out the hole for this one once a week.
Oh man, ain't too
Yeah.
funny. But nah, man, just gotta stick to what he doing, man. Fighting is about, most of the time people lose fights. It don't be because their game plan don't work. It's because something happened and they decided to veer off that game plan. You hear coaches all the time. They tell them like, bro, what we work on? Slip right, turn, and counter. But it's like they get in there, they start seeing something that they don't like, and they start thinking that I can do this, or I got them. And a lot of times that'll lead you right into their game plan. So you gotta stick to everything that you train for, unless your coaches tell you switch it up. You feel me? Because they got a different perspective than you.
So every fighter comes in with a game plan that they can implement to win the fight. What happens is your opponent comes in with a game plan to win the fight. Yep. And what did Mike Tyson say? Everybody got a plan until you get punched in the face. And so that's when we start seeing it's like, bro, you're trying to implement your plan, but they're executing their plan better.
You just gave us the key for plant then. Don't get punched in the face.
What did I say? Avoid that power, be a slick boxer, and use your jab
punched in the face,
to control the range. If you can control the range, you can control the fight.
Bro, they funny as hell in these comments, bro. You got the see-through glass in front of you, bro. The bulletproof guy.
Yeah, nah. CO trying to come in my hut right now, bro. Like, they're telling me I only got an hour a week. They only let me out an hour a week from the hole.
My PTA Zoom meeting. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm getting cooked. We gotta find that. We gotta find that.
That's definitely going into the promo.
Yeah. Did y'all talk about, speaking of him? Did y'all talk about anybody mention his signing the Don King?
Hell no.
Boy,
we got some paper with it.
I mean,
that's all he's been trying to get.
Is he gonna see it though?
He got that paper that was right there. That was
Don King money. That was video. They put Don King said, "Hey, sweep this shit up and put it back."
Bro, I would like to think AB smart enough at this point, bro.
You would like to think AB smart enough?
If you want me to do a photo op with this, I'm not doing a photo op with money that ain't mine, bro.
Say that shit again, Cannon. You just said you would like to think AB.
He just said something the other day that gave us insight to you, bro. He been dropping gems lately.
AB ain't never said shit to give you insight on me, goddammit. Don't ever disrespect me like that.
He did, bro. No. He told us how it was growing up in your city, bro.
Hey, but I ain't stupid.
Hey, but we learned a lot about you from what he said.
No, I learned a lot earlier than what he said.
I ain't put an age limit on it. What I'm saying is me and Hill learned why you act the way you act based off his comments.
Wait. Whoa. Don't say you learned how I act based off of AB. I know I may have been a wild boy once upon a time, but I ain't never been AB wild.
You're still a wild boy, man.
But I'm still a wild boy, but I've never been AB wild. And I
didn't say you was AB wild. So I'm saying that he dropped a gem that taught us something about people from the natty. And
what about dead clocks?
Right
twice a day.
Hey, man. And even AB can be right twice a day then.
Exactly. But he still don't tick nor talk up here. So don't tell me he might be smart now. He just happened to say some shit that was profound.
Hey, he better get his money. Don King got money to give, bro. He really 96.
How do you think Don King got that money? By stealing it from other motherfuckers, and particularly motherfuckers who ain't that smart.
That's Tyson money. He trying to give it away, bro. He know it's time.
No, he's not. He found him another mark. He said, "Oh, this motherfucker ain't that bright," and he desperate.
Ain't that much money to make off AB unless he get him a good fight.
He said no Vaseline.
Hey, I got to
go. All right, we out.
I didn't mean to say it like that. We had a great time tonight with the fours. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know y'all can catch us on all major podcast platforms, 3Man Weave. Instagram, Twitter, 3manweave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. I'm Hill. That's Cannon. That's AJ. This is my robe. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, catch me on Scare Straight on TLC tonight at 10 o'clock. We got some spring breakers coming in, and I'm about to fuck them up.